Good evening and welcome to Real Talk with Tamara. As you guys come into the room, please hit the like button. Also, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. I hope that you guys are doing okay this evening. I'm I'm making it, okay? This has been kind of one of those days, right? But even with all I have going on, I decided to get a video in because I was going to try to do a live tomorrow, but I don't think I'm gonna be able to. So I was like, well, I don't want to leave them hanging for several days because I don't know how I'm gonna feel after tomorrow, anyways. Okay. Um, I wanted to talk about, everybody kind of be wanting to hear what I gotta say about Young Dolph, even though we've talked a lot about Young Dolph. I can understand the anxiety and the curiosity. Okay. Young Dolph's case is a big case, and I initially wanted to talk about, the industry hated on Young Dolph, and we know that the industry hated on Young Dolph. The same type of energy that the industry is showing some of the people that was directly up under Young Dolph is the same energy that they were showing Young Dolph, and it was 10 times that because Young Dolph was very sure of himself. I think when you see some of Young Dolph's artists like Key Glock and them, they got a lot of the gems that he left, but they still don't have 100% of the knowledge that Young Dolph had, right? So, but which is what a lot of people fear, I think. But of course, they knew Young Dolph had the knowledge, and he had paved the way for himself, with the help of his fans and stuff, of course, and probably people we don't that's in the background, because um, possibly, because Young Dolph was about his money, but they definitely hated him. What I found is people hate who they cannot use, right? When people can't use you, they will hate you, especially when you have a lot of money and stuff coming in, when you're on your grind. And because for some reason now the world is twisted, everybody feels like if you got a big amount of money coming in, especially, just if you're a person of color, right? Um, that you can have the talent, but it's supposed to go through somebody else. It's supposed to go through another race, and they're supposed to give you the droplings. You know how they say the with the rats when they poop, they call it the droplings, right? And that is what is going on with a lot of these African American boys, especially the young men that's in the rap industry. I don't care how a lot of these dudes claim that they're making money, they are being funded by somebody and they're getting the droplings, and really it should be the other way around, right? And it's unfortunate that a lot of black people don't know that, but Young Dolph knew that. He knew his worth, and instead of, as I always say, the black people in the industry coming together to um to celebrate that, to work with him, so that because they're the talent, right? They are the talent. I can see if somebody put some money behind you. It's sad that black people don't know business, a lot of black people, until they've signed their lives away in these contracts, right? They're supposed to get their money back if they fund you, plus put tax on it. Hey, I'm all for that. You know what I mean? I'm all for that. If you loan me something so that I can build my career, hey, I'll give you loan me the money. I'll give you your money back. Plus, you tax me one time. You might want to have a certain percentage in it. Hey, I ain't got no problems with that, but you won't be making more off of me than me, right? And it's unfortunate that a lot of black people don't know that, but Young Dolph knew that. And even with it being that way, just because it has been that way, it don't mean that's the way it's supposed to be. I wish, a lot of our people knew that. And what pisses me off about it is that instead of getting with Young Dolph and sitting down and saying, hey, we've been in this, we the OGs in this, we have the opportunity to flip this, and this right here ain't wishful thinking, okay? It's not wishful thinking. This is really how it's supposed to be. And it can be if everybody was on one accord. But so many black people will sell out for a damn grilled cheese sandwich, government cheese. It ain't, hey, we used to get government cheese when we lived in Clementine, okay? Ain't got nothing against government cheese, but it's unfortunate that a lot of people will sell out for that. You gonna give me some government cheese? Instead of sitting down with your brother, right? And saying we all gonna come together, put our egos aside, because the people come out to see these artists, especially these Black artists as it relates to rap. We're gonna figure out a way to not just be famous, but to be rich. And so what the oppressors learn to do is they learn to give a few of you put a few give a few of you the illusion of power. They ain't even got no damn power, no money, but a lot of them. And we'll put you out front. We'll give you the TV time. Okay. But here's young Dolph. He's going to cause trouble for us. He don't want to be a slave like you. And so we need for you all to take him out, because if young Dolph keep going and he keep bringing up little dudes up under him and teaching them the game, we won't be able to crack the whip no more, right? And so they get a bunch of cuckabug heads to join on and take him out. And I think that is unfortunate, y'all. This is basically what's going on in the industry. And I know the oppressors, a lot of the oppressors, and every white person is not an oppressor, okay? But a lot of the oppressors that's doing this, they do what they are supposed to do. I think I was telling the story one time about how when I was I first started business, and when I started my TV show on Comcast, and I would go out and people would I would be so hurt. That's when I first started, because I've always been reserved. A lot of people don't know that. Very shy and reserved, right? Very drawn back. And so when I would get out and people would call me and say they wanted to advertise or whatever, I would go out, and it would bother me when I would get out there and they would just waste my time, because they was always trying to get something for free, even though I had the TV show and the airtime, and I had the vehicle to put their commercials, could cut their commercials and put their commercials on TV so that they could be seen, trying to build a Black independent media. I would get out there and they would want me to give it to them for free and go pay Channel 5, Channel 3, Channel 13, all kinds of money to come on one time, and there ain't nobody probably gonna even see them, right? And so I would be so hurt when I would call my dad, and my dad would go, you know what? Those companies do what they are supposed to do. You don't get mad at them. Their job is to try to get everything that they can get out of you for nothing. Their job is to try to take advantage of you, right? Because they got a product that they want to put on TV, and they want to make money off of people seeing it on TV, and they don't want to have to pay you, right? He said their job is to do that. Your job is to just make sure that they don't do it. Their job is to try to get everything that they can out of you for nothing. And your job is just to make sure that they don't. That's it, right? And so, when I think about the people in the record industry, because ain't no Black folks running nothing in the record industry. That's an illusion. And it's a damn shame that Black people are okay with the illusion of running something. Young Dolph was really running something, right? That's the reason why they try to use Soulja Boy and all them to try to take away that. Well, he was on Empire. Now he was really running it. He really owned himself, because had he not owned himself, they would not have hated him so much, right? But it's a darn shame when the people that really run the industry can give the illusion of power, fame, because fame is not necessary. Fame ain't affiliated with having wealth at all, right? We see that when we see a lot of these artists that's famous and they ain't got a damn dime. Everything they got is around their damn neck, okay? And they can pay them a few dollars, and they really ain't paying them no money. Just promise them some fame, a piece of jewelry, and then they'll go get somebody's child who's already mentally twisted to go take out somebody that could help to bring them, as it relates, because they're the ones that's in the damn rap industry, out of bondage. And I can't understand, I think it really saddens me when I hear a lot of Black folks in the industry, because it is the Black music that sells. the black artists, their image and things of that nature. This is what sells, right? Say, well, we can't do nothing. How come? If everybody came together and was on one accord, you could do something. But instead, they get together and you know, they get people like Yo Gotti and some more of these damn artists to go and get a bunch of dudes from out of the hood that's not used to anything and put a battery in their back to keep beef going and to go back and destroy their community. That's it. That's all. Yo Gotti is tied up in a 360 deal. The only way Yo Gotti and Dolph, there's no reason why Yo Gotti and Dolph, before they started trying to shoot at him, after they started trying to shoot at him, all bets was off on that. I wouldn't have wanted to have a damn thing to do with him either. You gone too far when you started trying to take my life. We can't sit down and have no truce. Okay? I don't think had it been vice versa, I would have said the same thing about Yo Gotti. If young Dolph was consistently trying to take his life, ain't no way in hell I would have wanted to sit down and have a truce with him. Okay? Because at that point, you've gone too far. It can't be no kumbayas. But it shouldn't have been any reason why, because Memphis artists have had a great success. They're trendsetters. A lot of trends that have been set in the past have come straight out of Memphis. Why couldn't they have sat down and sat at tables together and tried to figure out a way? Look here, we know this and that. I might have messed up and signed a 360 deal. I don't know how long those deals are, but hey, we're going to try to figure out another way and come together. You know what I mean? And that's not wishful thinking. It could be done, right? All it takes, and I think what our community don't understand is all it takes is being on one accord. There is strength in numbers. Hell, if people started using their day, they can't kill everybody. Well, the Illuminati had gonna kill us. Well, they can't kill every damn body. Hell, if everybody came together and was on one accord and started to influence the people, then hey, use their influence, to influence the people or whatever. It ain't no way in hell that they could kill, everybody. They couldn't. But the problem is people bought out for $1 because you get one person that's in the group, they able to, I give you $1 million if you, line them up. Everybody that's in that group, line them up. You'll get somebody who only think about themselves for the moment would take $1 million or less, because they ain't paying them no damn $1 million. They give them maybe $20,000, which could be gone before the year's out, right? And they helping to line up people. And so, people hated Young Dolph because Young Dolph couldn't be bought out. When a person is doing something right? Because he was a threat because a lot of people hated him. And they hated him strictly because he was on his grind. He was making the money for real. And then he was flossing and showing them $9.99. Now, hey, I got it for real. Hey, don't nobody own me. I ain't in no 360 deals, right? He put that out there. And so the industry did not want a lot of these little dudes to know that you could be a success like Young Dolph, and you didn't have to go through them. And I think I can remember last year when this stuff first happened with Young Dolph, okay? I said, what y'all gonna see is you're gonna start seeing Black artists come to the forefront saying you don't need to be independent, because the people in the back room is gonna put the battery in their back, because they're gonna start using these Black artists, giving them a little bit of some loans and making it seem like they really got money, and start using them to go into the hoods to sign these dudes, selling them the American dream to tie these dudes up in these 360 deals, these little dudes that's in the hood that ain't got none. Damn if I didn't hear Yo Gotti get on a show and say you need a record company to be behind you, okay? And so, I know a lot of people try to say that I hate Yo Gotti. They got somebody that gets on my page and say that because it upsets me. I don't hate nobody. I've always said that I hate what they do. I hate the energy that they have put out into the atmosphere, and it has been done single-handedly just by that label, okay? And Yo Gotti is the head of that label, so Yo Gotti is supposed to be controlling that. If he's got a bunch of little dudes up under him, like I know Moneybag Yo got the Bread Gang, and um 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 the other little guy, I can't think of his name, Black Youngster got the Camp, okay? So if he one got Bread Gang, the other one got the Camp, okay, the heavy camp or whatever. And he's supposed to be able to control all of that because that's still up under the umbrella of him. And if he can't control that, then we don't need to support him because, like I said, he's supposed to be able to control his artists. I don't give a damn if Big 30 and them is on Bread Gang. Bread Gang is still up under the umbrella of CMG, and nobody could ever tell me that it's not. Okay, it is, right? So, I always say I think that it is a shame what is going on, to hate somebody, for the industry to hate a guy. It's got more to do with just a girl. Okay. I know people get their feelings and stuff involved or whatever when they've been with somebody a long time. And, hey, it happened, I guess, I reckon. And but even with that being said, it still did not cause for what has happened, or what happened in the, right after that in the past or whatever. And so that is consistently putting negative energy into the atmosphere, y'all. And that's why I say it's some things that's got to change. I mean, I talk my stuff. I mean, I can't get on here and sugarcoat it, right? And it's a darn shame when you got a bunch of damn grown men that don't know how to take constructive criticism. And if they got a bunch of little dudes up under them, okay, that is affiliated with them, and they saying that they can't control them, first of all, I don't buy it. Second of all, they shouldn't be around them. I don't have people around me and my brand or my business that is doing destructive things, and I'm sitting up talking about I can't control them, because that's a negative. That's making my business look bad, right? Right. So I don't buy it at all. These little dudes do what they are told to do, whether it comes directly from the head or a person that they have put there to put that stuff in their ear or not. It still trickles back up to the top, and he's supposed to be able to control it, right? So, I think it's a shame, that people, what had happened to young Dolph, and I can understand the curiosity, and people wanting to. First of all, I think the curiosity peaks is, people want to see if he's going to get justice in totality, right? And I think it's just based on, because you don't really know who all was involved in this, right? People have an idea of who they think was involved based on a lot of the BS that they've heard. Number one, on the vlogs, right? So, because I'm gonna tell you, it's been a lot of crazy stuff put out that has been absolutely hilarious to me. It's to me, period. Some people believing it. It just kind of blows my mind. I go, dog, people believe that? Wow, Um, but I think that is why this case has kind of piqued the curiosity of people, have gotten a lot of emotions going. I think it has gotten the emotions going genuinely of those that really want some justice for young Dolph, and which you should. People put there are vloggers that put stuff into the atmosphere to keep people emotional, because one thing about it, when a person is emotional, when you can get them emotional, it keeps them coming back, right? It keeps them coming back. That is definitely a strategy. um and so that's the reason why I've always gotten on here and said, y'all just kind of be cool, and wait it out, and let these people do what they're supposed to do. When people put into the atmosphere that police officers and things of that nature was involved, I go, well, what police officer? Tell me, because I want to know too. Because hell, I don't want no crooked police officers on Young Dolph's case. As a matter of fact, they shouldn't even be on the department. Well, I don't know. You don't know. Well, y'all are sure that they're crooked. Who is it? If you're sure that somebody was crooked, that means you got to know the name. Well, I don't know. They had just said it. Okay, well. Okay. Well, nothing can be done about it if you don't know the name. Don't let people do you like that. Because people genuinely want to see young Dolph get justice in totality. And a lot of these people ought to be ashamed of themselves for what they put into the atmosphere to keep people emotional. And I understand that they have a team. A lot of these people that do that, they have teams that are their wing people. So they get in there and they got fake pages and things of that nature. They be in the chat and they keep that shit going too. They work together as a team to do this, to keep your mind distorted. I don't know no investigators that is down there throwing Young Dolph's case out. Okay. I don't know of any. Okay. And so I know a lot of people have put, Caroline Mason um into the atmosphere, and they said that she was involved. When I worked MPD, I worked with Caroline Mason. Caroline Mason was a sergeant, and she was working in general assignment. She has definitely worked her way up, right? And so people know Caroline Mason from the first 48. Okay. When she left general assignment, she went to homicides, and that's when the first 48 came up there, because I was working there when the first 48 was up there, first started recording up there, right? And so since then, Caroline has kind of worked her way up through the ranks, because I think she was a lieutenant colonel, which was second in command over at the Airways precinct, which was right up the street from Makita's, which is why she was out on the scene. Okay. And a lot of people was up in arms. I think they were saying that vloggers was putting into the atmosphere that she was out there tainting the scene. Caroline was out there because that was her precinct, and the chief told her to go out there to make sure that they was doing whatever they needed to do as it relates to that scene, because it was a high profile celebrity that had just been gunned down. So she had to come back. She had to go out there, right? She had to make that scene, right? And so now, when I saw Caroline again, she was on TV from what happened at Yo Gotti's in them club and things of that nature. And she was with Paul. Okay. Paul Wright. I knew him too. He had worked in general assignment. And now Caroline has been promoted to colonel. And so when they promoted her to colonel, they moved her, okay, to the investigative unit. She was just moved and put over all of the investigative units as a colonel, and she answers to nobody but the chief. See, I know the chains of command, right? And so that just happened. She's no longer at the Southeast Precinct. They move appointed people around all the time. They don't stay complacent. They don't allow them to get complacent. They're always moving them from different precincts in and out of bureaus and things of that nature. And at this point, she has landed, when she was promoted to colonel, as the colonel of investigations, right? And not only is she over homicides, but she's over sex crimes and all of those other investigative units. Okay. And so now because before she was not over investigator, which means when people were saying, she's compromising the case, I said, Caroline working at the damn precinct, she ain't got, she does not, she can't say nothing about the Young Dolph's case because she is not over that, right? And so now that she has been promoted to colonel, and they just moved her back downtown and put her over investigations, which means the only people that would be over her is the chief, probably Paul. I think because I saw Paul standing there with her, that would mean that Paul is chief of investigations and Caroline is the colonel, which means she's right up under him, right? She answers to Paul and Paul answers to Chief Davis, right? That's the chain of command. And whoever that major is that's over homicides answers to Caroline, right? So she still would not be investigating the Young Dolph's case. She would just be overseeing it just as the chiefs, because she's a step down from a chief at this point, right? So when people say that, and I know I just went through that, and people don't necessarily understand one way or the other because they've never worked for a damn police department. But I said that to say this: don't let people get you emotional and all thrown out of shape, okay? Caroline can't compromise no damn case. Young Dolph's case is already solved, okay? Caroline couldn't compromise that case if she wanted to. The feds been on young Dolph's case, and Caroline has no jurisdiction over what they're doing. Okay, that's how you know that young Dolph's case is deep. It is very deep, and I think a lot of people are getting to the point where they, you know, they're mad. They don't want to be out there, with they old asses, shooting and running, and because their ass is too old to be out there running and jumping and bucking and fighting. Anyways, so they get a lot of gratification out of instigating and gassing up these young dudes. They mad. So what they're doing is they sending out these young dudes to self-destruct. It is some sadistic people in this world, right? Instead of trying to do something right, maybe God will show you some mercy. Some of these folks some mercy, because one thing for sure, what's done is done. There's no way in the world that we could bring young Dolph back. Okay, we can't bring him back. If we could bring him back, all of us would have done something to bring him back, especially his wife and kids. Right? It can't happen. And so, because there are laws against what happened to young Dolph, there has to be some retribution. So now it's time for retribution. The feds and the investigators is getting ready to make these people pay up for what they did, and they pissed off. They felt like, or they thought they were supposed to be able to kill him and get away with it. Okay. And I think it's a damn shame before God that a lot of people that twisted. I didn't know it was a bunch of old folks that was, when I say old folks, we all in our damn 40s and stuff. You're in your late 30s, your ass is old. You're too old for this shit. Okay. But I didn't know that people that come from my era was this twisted. And like I said, I've been around street dudes my whole life. Most of them are the most logical thinkers because they smart. They just went the wrong route. Ain't nowhere in the hell. They very charming, and they got some get up and go about themselves, which is why a lot of women had loved them. These ones that I'm seeing now, and the fact that they asses in their 40s and stuff, it reminds me of Godzilla or somebody. I ain't never in my life thought I would ever run into what I'm seeing now. And they ought to be ashamed of themselves. They are completely destroying the younger generation in the Memphis area. Okay. And God got something for that. So when people come on my page and they say, well, you wrong, you saying you want some of these folks to go to jail, they need to have their asses in jail. It seems like to me, if they're not out doing what they're supposed to do, which is trying to teach these little dudes, or at least talk to them, because these little dudes listen to them then, and they're helping them to destroy. They instigating this stuff. They want to see this stuff go on. Then they need to be in jail. They need to be in jail or in the grave. Right? But it's a shame before God, y'all, what is going on. But when people ask me, do I think that young Dolph is going to get justice in totality? I don't say this just because I work for the police department. Hell yeah, he going to get justice in totality. These folks that's out here that these vloggers that they pay, and some of these people that's out here that was involved in this, they want y'all to think that they're not. These folks know that they are going down. They already know that they are, and they're mad, which is why they're gassing up and instigating this stuff with the younger generation, because they know they're already on drugs and twisted and have been misguided. And I think that's wrong on so many levels, right? So, but do I think he's going to get justice? Yeah, he's going to get it. Young Dolph's case is solved. A case is solved when you know who was involved and you just laying on them. And that is the problem. They know they being laid on, a lot of them. And everybody around them. And see, this is what these little dudes don't know. These folks that have been questioned know that these people coming back to get them, right? They know they're coming back. They know that they're watching them, and they know all of the little people that's around them that they use to go do the dirty work. They ain't telling these little dudes that, because they don't give a damn. They steady dangling money in their face. They don't give a damn about them being arrested. That's the reason why they arresting these folks as soon as it happened, because they watching them. And these OGs know that they watching them. But guess what? They don't give a damn. They don't care about these little dudes getting caught. They just want them to go do their dirty work and know they ain't gonna get away with it. Okay. So y'all, this stuff has got to stop. But the industry hated on young Dolph. They hated on young Dolph because he was great. simply because he was great, because young Dolph was making his money, and he owned himself, okay? He owned himself, and he was doing the darn thing. And a lot of people in the background um didn't want that, because they wanted to be able to keep a lot of these black folks that's in the industry slaves. And so it's a damn shame that they can use black people and give them some money to go take out people that has found the recipe and that could actually actively help to break the bondage of the music industry. It's a damn shame people rather stay in bondage, will stay in bondage just as long as they got a few little dollars, right? It's a darn shame before God. That's why I say a lot of the stuff that's going on in our community, it has nothing to do with anything other than us, because we can't stick together. We can't get mad at the other communities because they stick together. They understand that is the recipe, okay? But we so scared. People, instead of people getting with young Dolph and getting like him, they want to see him gone because they couldn't stand to see him be a success. He would have made all that money. He won't give me none of it. There's this saying I got, and I love it. In order to do what I do, you got to do what I do. When people ask me, well, how you do that? I would like to do that. In order to do what I do, you got to do what I do. You don't know what people do to have what they got. Yeah, and if you knew all that they had to do to have it, you probably wouldn't even want it. But people get about getting jealous, and they don't know how you've had to suffer. They don't know the hell you've had to go through. They don't know none of that. All they was seeing was him shining and riding in his camouflage cars. And some of they sick minds were saying, we living over here and we ain't got nothing. He'll come over here in $100,000 car. That's why they had killed that nigga. Y'all, we got to change our mindsets. We do. We got to change our mindsets. And then those that's riding around in the same cars that he got, they leasing them. Young Dolph was paying cash for his. They mad because they got to lease theirs. They got the whole world thinking that they got it like that, but they leasing their car and they mad. Man, yeah, we're gonna put a hit on that nigga because I had to lease my car and he bought his for cash. Y'all, our people need some help. Our community need some help. I'm telling you, they need some help. It bothers me, y'all, what is going on what is going on, especially in the industry, because there are so many African American young men that is in the industry and they come from nothing. They come in with the hopes of doing better. Hey, I know they might come in as gang members, but listen, if these little dudes come in and these OGs tell them, look here, I understand the gang politics or whatever, but if you're gonna come in, we're gonna make some money together, you gotta have your mind right. You can't be with all that gang banging. I can guarantee you 1,000%. If you tell them that and they're hungry, they're gonna ease on away from that. Okay. But instead, when they bring them in because they want them to crash out and go do their dirty work, that's the difference. Okay. And God ain't pleased with that. Okay. But anyways, you guys, I know I talked about everything, child, in this video, but I wanted to put a video out there, and I was thinking about young Dolph, and young Dolph's case is coming to a close. Okay, that's one thing for sure. Every day, everything that has a beginning has an ending. That is for sure, right? And so young Dolph's case is going to come to a close real soon. Okay, and I don't know what these, a lot of these people who look to YouTube as their bread and butter, which ain't nothing wrong with that, but a lot of them ain't gonna be around anyways, because with a lot of the stuff that they've done, God ain't gonna let them be around. Okay. But it's got an ending date. And that's the reason why I always say, as it get closer to the end, and these people investigate their case and they start to get everybody, and they start to make arrests. Who, I don't know when, I don't know. But you have to understand, like, young Dolph's family is going to need prayers, because it's not easy for them every time they make an indictment. It's not easy. When you start seeing, dog, this is one of the reasons why my child is not here, or my child's father is not here, or my man or my brother is not here. That's not easy. And so that's the reason why I say there has to be a mindset. You can't be so jealous of people that you want to see them gone, because it was just purely jealousy, y'all. And this stuff got to stop. But when people ask me, do you think that the police is, if the police was being crooked in Young Dolph's case, they wouldn't have the people arrested that they got arrested. Okay. So when people start putting that into the atmosphere, you need to ask yourself, do you believe that Straight Drop was involved? Do you believe that Cornelius was involved? Do you believe that Orange Mountain Quet was involved? Do you believe that, because they got somebody else secretly arrested? Do you believe that the people that they have thus far was involved? Okay. Because when people trying to cover up something, I don't think it would have been any arrest at all. Right? Because it wouldn't have been any arrest. I tend to believe that they got the right people. Okay. I do. Hey, just based on what they've said, I believe that they have the right people, and I believe that they're going in the right direction, right? So when you start talking about cover-ups, you have to ask yourself those questions, because when there are cover-ups, now, as you talk, I'm gonna tell y'all what I would look at as a cover-up as a detective myself. When I think I was one of the first ones when that situation happened with Takeoff, and I was listening to that police chief when I can't think of the name of the young man, DJ Patrick or whatever, was arrested. I said, it's something wrong with that. And then when it took them a minute, when all of those people was there, and it took them a minute, and then they wanted to try to put it on on the other guy that was with Quavo and them, I said from the very beginning, I said, y'all, it's something wrong. The day Takeoff was killed, and the first thing that police chief said was, there's a lot of celebrities. He didn't say it like this verbatim, but he was like, he knew the celebrities in Houston, and he wanted to sit down and talk to some of these celebrities to see what resolution they can come up with. I said, he full of shit. Y'all need to watch that, because it might be some cover-ups going on. Now that, hey, I would look at it like that. When people sit up and say, well, they had sent the police over there to Joe Gotti and them business, well, they were supposed to do that. I heard that Yo Gotti's and them business was shot up, and I know they've denied it, but and sometimes the police will deny a little something to keep commotion down, but I kind of believe it happened. Okay. So even if Yo Gotti and them was involved in this Young Dolph's case, whether they was involved or not, the police job is to protect and serve. Okay. They had to go over there and see about that restaurant. I think the issue is a lot of people don't know the laws and the job that the police is supposed to do, right? I don't think they know that. So, anyways, you guys, I'm not gonna go on and on. I just wanted to put this video up. I wanted to talk to you guys. I wanted to go live, but I didn't have the energy to go live. So I want you guys, but I'm gonna try to go live tomorrow if I can, if I have the energy. But I want you guys to please like, share, and subscribe. I want you guys to know that I miss you. I love you. Y'all know that I have kind of been down. But God is working in me and through me, and gonna get me through this, right? Because y'all know that me and my dad was thicker than thieves, right? My business partner, we talked about 3 times a day. I miss him so much. Every time, I call his phones now just to hear his voice. You know what I mean? I miss him saying, Gal, I need you to do this. We're gonna go in business and do this here. I'm gonna front the money, and you go and see what we need to do that. And I just miss that man already. Okay. And it's just been a week, and I miss him so much, right? So y'all make sure y'all pray for me, but I miss y'all. I love you guys. Okay. I'll talk with you later.